today I would like to tell that we are completing our Zoom meeting for the 2022 campaign with a very special and important ambassador from Switzerland, David Karasek. He is an Olympian and 10-time Swiss swimming champion, and now he helps professional athletes and their coaches stop overthinking and prepare the grounds for intense peak performance experience. He's also the founder of the Tribe of Athletes, a sports community dedicated to mastering the journey to inner greatness. He also proved mindset and mental strength are the true factors for success, not just for athletes, but for everyone. He offers a unique system of how to build and transform your mindset for success. Dear David, we are much honored to have you in the second edition of the Hope Giver campaign. Tell our viewers more about your story. I am sure they are very excited to hear it.
Hi, man. It's good to be here. Thanks, Anwar, for that nice, lovely intro. What should I focus on? So
what about the first experience, second experience, third experience? What you was telling yourself? What was in your mind in every time you play? Because I know that as a tennis player, if you won one tournament, it's not easy in mindset to win the second. And if you win the second, it's not easy. It's more harder even to win the third. It's very hard to be consistent, even mindset, about ego even, like for me, it's very interesting to know, which is possible. You are 10, so it's not easy also.
Yeah, cool. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, right? With the consistency, it's huge. But let me be very, very honest here, right? When I was, like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, right? I was watching the Olympics and I was like, wow, I want to be like those guys. And I had this Olympic dream to win gold. But what happened to me here in Switzerland, because Switzerland is not really a sports country, it is in tennis. But like swimming, it's not like a national sport or anything like that, right? So it's like what the adults around me actually did when I said I wanted to be an Olympic champion. They weren't laughing at me straight up, but they were saying, oh, yeah, go to school and we'll see later, little boy, kind of like that. That was the thing. And my Olympic dream of really being an Olympic champion, it was, squashed there when I was young. And then I started to have realistic goals, right? It's like, okay, so I'm the fastest in my region, so I can be like the fastest in my age group. And then at some point I won Swiss champs and it's like, okay, I can participate in European championships. It never crossed my mind to win in a European championship. So participate, right? And I got that. I was like, okay, I can participate in world championships, right? And I did that. And then it was like the ultimate was like, oh, I could participate in the Olympic Games. And I also did that. And I became like 25th, which is a great result. And especially, it was cool because it was August 1st, was Swiss National Day. It was the best, it was a Swiss record. It was like when it really counted, I swam the fastest race of my life. So it was like, oh, cool. But compare that, for example, to Michael Phelps, who at the same age, he said at 5, 6, 7 years old, he wanted to be an Olympic champion. And then the people around him, the adults, was like, okay, cool, boy. Awesome. And here's the pool and go to work, right? And they put him in an Olympic gold mentality, like an Olympic gold coach, an Olympic gold team. Like, everything around it was like Olympic gold. And look where he made it, right? What was the difference? Was it like the strength? No, it wasn't. Was it the speed? No, it wasn't. Was it the technique? No, it wasn't. What it was, because we were both little boys, it was the mindset. It's like what he believed for him, what is possible. And then, with that dream, once you have that dream and you start to be, if you're say like 12 years old and you have this huge dream and you communicate it and you actually put in the work, it attracts other people. And I'm like, oh, damn, like he's doing something really cool. He's really into it. And then all of a sudden you start to attract, because you're not going to do it alone, right? You need like the help of other people. But the people are actually, what you find is like they are so happy to be part of something with somebody, because most people don't have a vision. And so they feel attracted to people who have a vision, right? And that's something that I reckon is just, the parents and the people around me that didn't know better, they wanted the best for me, right? And in their path, it was like, well, it was like school, for example, right? And they did the best that they could, but it's huge, the implications, right? I always got what I could imagine. And I could imagine me participating, and that's exactly what I got. It never crossed my mind, to be in a final or to even win the Olympics, right? It was like, it was too big for me to think like that. And that's something that went back, man, like 20 years.
I would like to ask you something. You mentioned something very important, which is very hard for anyone. Many people dream to be a champion. I think almost all people, even in my career, even in tennis, many people want to be a champion. It's easy to dream about it, but it's hard to do it. How you was acting when someone told you it's impossible, you have to change your career, you have to go to play something else? What was your reaction?
Yeah,
What
the
was
problem
the
was I believed it to some extent. That's the problem. I didn't have that strength. I didn't have, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm really, really honest, right now, it's different. Now I know who I am. I know where I want to go. And I have learned about if we're doing the right things, if we're learning about how creation works and how the mindset works and all that, we can absolutely do what we can see here. Right. But at the time, I didn't know. I didn't have that self-confidence. So if somebody told me that I wasn't going to make it, it actually, it started to mess with me. I started to question myself. It wasn't like, oh no, I'm not listening to you and all that. No, I wasn't very self-confident. And I mean, you know how it is, right? Then you have a bad result and you start to overthink and you say, oh God, maybe I'm on the completely wrong track. Maybe I'm not made for this. And it's not like a straight line up there. So that's what I'm saying. I didn't have anybody who told me all this, who guided me with how powerful the mindset were. Because I mean, how old are you, Anwar?
39.
Yeah, okay. I mean, when you went to see a sports psychologist or something, right? I mean, at our age, that the people back in the days, they were like, there's something wrong with him. Like, why is he going to see a sports psychologist, right? It's not like today. Today, we know we need to have strength and conditioning. We know we have to have nutrition. We know we have to have the mindset. But at the time, it wasn't something that was like widespread or available to everybody, right? It wasn't. And so I would say I let other people influence me, right? And in a negative way. And I let that in because I just didn't know who I was and how powerful I could really be.
Yes, you truly took amazing. But one important question comes in my mind when you're talking. You were dreaming to be a champion as an athlete, as a swimmer, which is not a national thing in your country. You told me squash was like this. If you find a lover or during your way after you win some champions like this, and she told you, sorry, you have to quit what you are doing, you was going to quit?
No, because I had fun, right? And I started to be like, oh, I really like this. But it's something interesting, right? You also said it could get more difficult because you're growing and you're getting on the bigger and bigger stage. And then it makes you like so happy because you work all these freaking hours in the pool and all the pain. I mean, you know how it is, right? If you're training and going through ups and downs and you're really living all these emotions and putting in so much training, it's like the best when you see you're making like your parents proud. I mean, I remember I was like, yeah, I saw the parents in the stands, and it's really like this, this was all worth it, right? And it's like it's not so much really about the time.
Yes, it was like a confidence which makes you like, someone told you, no, David, we have to quit. It's enough for you to complete. You have to see something else, not going for this game. All the time, it was your decision 100%, or it can be affected with other people.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think as a child, I was heavily affected by what was going on around me. I think we all are, right? We all are. It's just we just don't know better, right? We're looking up at the adults and we're like, I mean, if they're saying so, I guess they know because they've been here and all that. But the truth is that a lot of people, when they doubt you and tell you that you can't do something, it's like they don't understand it. It's not the truth. It's just like with whatever happened to them in their life, it's like they don't understand that, right? It's like, imagine if you have your smartphone and all that, and imagine you're going back 20 years and you're walking around with this smartphone and you're just going back in time 20 years or 30 years. People look at you like, what? You can do all that? They don't believe you, right? They're like, oh, no, go away, right? People, they give you advice because they think they're doing you a favor, because they think they know.
I would like also to ask you something. You have this great energy. You are always positive. And when you speak, tell our viewers about transformation system and what is the trick that you use to help yourself and others.
Yeah, man. So I'll tell you the system that I use with my, absolute high-end private clients, and it's super simple, right? You know what a GPS system is in the car, right?
Yes.
So when you use a GPS system in the car or in your phone, what's like the first thing that you do?
Put the location.
Exactly. So, well, you put the destination, right?
Yes.
So the destination, right? Let that be an analogy for your vision, right? So whatever it is that you want to create in your life, if that is a loving relationship of some form with a significant other, or with your children, or if it's a charity that you want to grow, or if it's whatever that is for you, is like you got to know what the vision is. So you have to be able to close your eyes. At least that's how I do it with my clients, right? And how I use it every day. You have to be able to close your eyes and imagine that and see yourself in that vision, right? See it happening. So if the house by the beach with the palm trees and the coconuts and all that, you got to be able to see it, what that looks like. Now, for a GPS system to work, what's the other thing that you need? It needs your current location.
Yes, needs my current
right?
Yes, it's very correct.
So you have the destination, and what you also need to know is like you need to know where you are in relation to that vision right now, right? And that is the current location, and that is, you see, that is the current reality. We call that the current reality, right? And what you can easily do is you tune into the vision for a couple of seconds, 30 seconds or a minute or something, and imagine what it is that you want to create. That's your vision. And then right after that, you look at, okay, and where am I today in relation to that vision? And that's where you put everything in there that comes to you. Like, for example, blind spots that you have. That's why I say, by the way, everybody should have a coach, because we all have blind spots, right? Things that we don't see about ourselves. But it's very important to know these things, because, and a coach doesn't have to be like professional and expensive and all that. It's just other people, and taking on feedback, taking on that information that other people give to you, and welcome it in your life. And don't be offended, because welcome it, because it's a gift, because you can learn more about yourself and learn more about what is really true about you. And the more accurate your vision is, and the more accurate your current location is, the smoother this ride will be.
Yes, I agree 100%. It's a lot of things to pass through it. I would like also to ask you, David, what you think about the Hope Giver campaign, and what you are going to share with our viewers during the campaign this year.
What I love, hey, is, as you said, so there's orphans, there's cancer, and we also have slightly people with disabilities. Am I right?
Yes, correct.
And yeah, hope. Right? It's like I see it as this North Star. Is like what you is like that to see a light at the end of the tunnel. And I remember, I've been in like tunnels so many times, and I'm sure you have, and a lot of other people. And actually, I don't even know, I've never lost anybody in my life. I think that's something, an experience that I'm going to have to make soon. I've been blessed so far because it hasn't happened to me, somebody close, and it's something that is going to happen sooner or later. And I know that I'm going to go into a tunnel. I'm a bit scared of that, if I can be very honest. But when we're going through the tunnel and we see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, as in hope, is very, very powerful, because the way I see it is like it gives me this drive, and it pulls me out of that. I see like, oh, okay, so there is the light, and I know it's there, and that's the hope, right? And it's like, okay, let me go towards the light. And even though maybe the tunnel is really long, but I know I have my North Star, I have my that vision is like, this is where I want to go, this is where I want to be pulled or pushed towards. And because without that, I read a lot of books about people in a concentration camp, in the Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. For example, there's psychological, there's research, solid research saying that people who gave up hope, they died like that, right? When the circumstances were against them, when they didn't have enough food, they gave up, and they, you could really like say, okay, their life left, and then they died very soon, right? It's a really sad book, Man's Search for Meaning. But he kept the hope to see his family again, and he stayed alive, right? And I think it's very, very powerful with hope. And so what I would love to, you got me on board. I'm grateful for that, and I think we'll do whatever we can to spread some good vibes, to spread some hope. And also, what I would love to do is, what I will do is like give very simple tools that can be used on an everyday basis, because it's not good enough to do it, once a month. or once a year or once. But it will change your life if you do these little things every day. And it doesn't need to take long, but it's the consistency, right? And that's how great athletes are made, is like with a certain level of discipline and consistency and focus, right? With sports, it's incredible amounts of time you have to put in. But with these mindset things, it's like almost like mindset hacks, right? It doesn't need to take long, but if you do those things every day, it's going to be incredibly like powerful for you, and you can start to, you know, literally change your environment. And so that would be my vision for this campaign. And I think, as we said, we're going to break it down into small nuggets, right, that are easy to digest. We're going to translate it to Arabic, and so that's pretty cool, right? And then what I would also love is that, as I said, I welcome feedback. So, you know, we'll start, and then, so I have vision, current reality. We'll do the first step, and then we're going to get feedback from the community and from the people, and they can also help us, guide us towards what they think would empower them, right? What are they curious about, and we can just kind of adjust, right? We can adjust to what's in the community's highest interest. So that's my game plan, if you ask me like that.
What your advice will be to the people like orphans or disabilities or cancer? It will be very important. With our campaign is moving during a lot of things, you know, like to make events for them, to make amazing talks for people great like you, because you are very special also, because you have a great career, and you have a great mindset, and you can truly, your words can change a lot of people. And our campaign also moving through a lot of ways, which is not easy, you know, for sure. You know, to spread the hope is not easy, you know, like, and and to be involved in all people from different countries and to do this, it's not easy. So for me, it's a pleasure truly to have you, because all of us will learn a lot from you, especially me, you know, like it was truly a great pleasure to have you in this great campaign. And especially I say that it's very important for people to hear you every day. And in big events, we need your talks. We need to make the important people in life can take action to make better generation, make better life for people. This is what we can do.
I'm with you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be on board. I'm excited. And as you said, it's like, the way I see it is like the highest form of reward, at least for me, right? And now it definitely wasn't always the case, because I also had to go through my journey and all that. But I think now it's like to be of service to other people, right? And that's like the highest form of reward, is like actually the experiences that I've had, and to pass it on, right? And I mean, that's why this is like a, how do you call, like a wheel. It's like a cycle. It's again, we learn from other people. I learn from you, man. I learn from you, and I'm sure I'll learn from the community. It's not like a one-way street, right? That's what I'm saying. There's always, everybody on this planet has unique talents and gifts and abilities, everybody. And there's always somebody that can do something best in life, right? And our job as coaches, that's how I see it, and hope givers, is like help people develop these gifts and talents and abilities, because they don't even know like what they have, right? And I didn't know, and I had my coach who's helping me, and we're on it, right? We're on it because there's always somebody who can see more in you. And I think that's why this hope thing, it's huge. It's huge, right? It's hope to find your talents and your gifts and abilities, develop them, and really also then in turn have a super valuable contribution to make to the world. Because again, you create your experiences and then you pass it on to others, because others will be inspired by that. So that's what I mean with this wheel, right? It's like, that is a wheel in motion. It's not like a straight line or a one-way street or something. It's not like that. It's something that always evolves, and it's, you give and take, and always what you give, it will come back tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000,000-fold. I don't know, but a lot fold.
Truly, thank you, David. And if you'd like to ask me something, I'm here. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything.
You're more than welcome, and thanks for having me on. I guess we'll be in touch anyhow, right? So I will see you down the road for sure. And then everybody else who's listening to this, hey, thanks for taking the time to listen to Anwar and myself talk about this topic. Is very important, and we'll see each other down the road.
Yes. Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
Cool. You're more than welcome, brother. I'll
Thank
see
you
you
so
soon,
much.
okay?
Very perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.